Fangirl Friday! I talk with my hands a lot. So today I'm talking about Tim Schafer and Tim Schafer games. The games I'm going to bring up, there are 5 of them because it's Friday and 5 is a good number, will be games that you should either buy, play, demo, try them out because they're really fun, B, they're well designed, B, they're really smart and funny. So, if you don't know who Tim Schafer is, I don't know, it's okay because you probably haven't heard of him. And I say that not because he's like Peter Molyneux, who likes to go out into the world and make huge promises about groundbreaking games which kind of never deliver what they promise. Tim Schafer isn't the kind of guy who makes like crazy bold promises. He does, however, make some really amazing games. Now, he used to work for LucasArts, and kind of left in the aughts, and in that time, the first big release that he made was a little game for the original Xbox called Psychonauts. Now, Psychonauts is it's like a puzzle platformer game, which is probably one of my favorite types of games to play. I really enjoy the puzzle aspect to games. And it is genius. The mechanics are genius, and the premise is just hilarious. You're essentially a psychic gifted student who's put in this weird little prison asylum thing with a whole bunch of other kids, and you kind of are trying to get out, but you're stuck. But in order to get out, you have to like puzzle platform your way through essentially levels which are the minds of the people who are keeping you there to be experimented on. It is one of the most brilliant puzzle platformers out there to this day. And it's kind of like, you know, the moment when you're playing Lego Star Wars where the first time you use the Force to build something and then you use the Force again to interact with that very thing? That's what this game is full of. Moments like that where the mechanics of the game are just so smart and so awesome that you are constantly thrilled by the brilliance and entertainment of it. Immersion is incredible. So it's now available. I believe it's available on Steam for sure. You can still buy it. We used to be able to buy it on Xbox Live and download it. If you could demo it, try it. But if you like puzzle platformers, this is the game for you. The second game I'm going to recommend is kind of, after that era, 2004, I guess, Psychonauts came out. 2009 came out, Tim Schafer directed Brutal Legend. Now, Brutal Legend is a game voiced by the likes of Jack Black and Ozzy Osbourne. It's a metal game, which is, I think it was overlooked because at that time there's the height of like Rock Band and those like, goopy kind of pretend you're in a band games, whereas this game is like, it's like Diablo meets, Warcraft if everything was the world of heavy metal music instead of like a fantasy kind of world. It is really, really entertaining, really funny, and again, so true to the Tim Schafer style that the dialogue and the humor is so great as well. And the voice acting is incredible. And it came out in 2009. It just was released on Steam, and so you can play it if you're on PC. And it is incredible. It's incredible. And I think what makes the port into PC better than the 2009 edition was it was on a consoles when it was released, and had limitations when you're playing an RTS, which is, some of the mechanics are RTS-y. If you're playing an RTS, it's really difficult to do that with the limitations of controls. You don't have those same limitations on a PC, so the port is extremely successful, and I highly recommend it. The next game I'm going to recommend is called Stacking. Now, Stacking is a game where you're these little Maryshka dolls, little Russian stacking dolls that you can fit inside yourself. And each little doll has its own characteristic, and you essentially can go through these levels as little dolls. The mechanics, again, very brilliant, very smart. The game is it's a live arcade game, so it's short, but it's very sweet and just very, very smart, again, in terms of the platforming. And again, I have such a soft spot for platforming games, so it's a terrific game, in the same ilk as Little Big Planet, that sort of thing. The next game I'm going to recommend is one that I have really become addicted to in the last, like, I don't know, couple weeks or so. It's called Costume Quest, and it's got graphically it looks a lot like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and that sort of stuff. It's incredibly well put together in terms of it's like an RPG kind of game. You play one of two kids, you go out together, you can pick your gender that way. They go trick-or-treating together, and your sibling gets kidnapped by these monsters on Halloween night. And the premise is that you have to go and save them, but you get magical powers from wearing your costume. So the robot costume you start out with turns into an awesome Megazord, with which you use to fight the bad guys who morph large and fight in the backdrop as your little town or whatever. Extremely, extremely smart mechanics again. Very, very much like classic RPG style, with the twist of the Halloween overlay, where the mechanics are like, instead of having random encounters, you go trick-or-treating at a door. Sometimes there's a grown-up who gives you candy. Sometimes it's a monster who wants to fight you, and so those are your random encounters. There are various mini games in there that are Halloween themed. Just it's all very smart. Your classes are determined by your costume, which you build by finding materials to make your costume and a pattern to make your costume with. So the unicorn is a healer class, the robot sword and the ninja are attack classes, the knight in armor is a defensive class, and so forth. It is a brilliantly structured game, an extremely fun kind of romp game. Again, demo it on Xbox Live. You can get it on Steam as well. And I'm pretty sure PlayStation Network also has it. So if you're a PS3 player, enjoy. But I absolutely adore Costume Quest. I just can't get enough of it right now. Finally, the last game I'm going to recommend to you isn't out yet. It is called Broken Age. And if you're not familiar with Broken Age is a game that Tim Schafer basically wanted to make. He said, I want to make an action game. And action games nowadays aren't well received. The market is not really into it. Everyone wants to make another Call of Duty game or another Gears of War game, another first-person shooter, another third-person shooter. It's exhausting and a little bit tired, in my opinion. But I'm a classic old school Diablo 1 kind of hack and slash action fan. Now, he wanted to make that kind of game. And so instead of trying to find funding from for his development studio from a publisher, he went to the crowds. He did a Kickstarter. Now, initially when they started this Kickstarter for Broken Age, it was like, he was asking for $400,000 because he was going to make the game for $300,000 and have a film crew make mini documentaries with the updates about how the game is made for $100,000. They kicked the Kickstarter's ass. At the time, it was one of the first really, really big Kickstarters, and for the game, they got like $3.33 million in backers, and they now still continue to accept Slacker backing, is what they call it on the site. I'll put the link below, and that Slacker backing essentially gets you a copy of the game as well as access to the documentaries they've continued to make. I'm going to also link the Kickstarter below because the video pitching the idea is just genius and so totally Tim, and it's just amazing. Now, again, I'm just making an assumption that you haven't heard about Tim because he makes these amazing games that get incredible critical acclaim and are complete commercial flops. So if you are a Tim Schafer fan, leave a comment below and let me know what your favorite Tim Schafer game is. If you're not a Tim Schafer fan, try one, please, and let me know below, or let me know what your favorite creative developers are that I haven't heard of, because I too am a gamer hipster and I would love to hear about them. Anyways, that's all for Fangirl Friday. I'll see you on Monday.